See, as I told you earlier, you do have a lot of grace from Ishvara and teachers. And you do have a lot of Shraddha, as you mentioned in the scriptures. But I don't see the self in myself. This is again not a decision. You grow. And more you study, more you can do Shravana Mananam, you grow. It becomes natural. Seeing the self in myself. I mean, that may be limitations of the language, but you have to see this myself as the self. In other words, the obtaining self as a conscious being. One more thing, when you know that obtaining self is a consciousness, it doesn't deny the existence of ahankara. It is going to be there. Individuality going to be there. But what you have to see is that individuality is incidental. I am in my real nature, I am not this. Exactly like an actor playing a role continues to play the role in spite of seeing that I am not the beggar, not the king, not the smuggler or police inspector, whatever the role is. But just because he sees the self, myself as the self, doesn't mean he stops seeing himself as a role, that particular role. So they play a role. The actor is conscious that this myself being a king or a beggar is my incidental status. Knowledge is not going to remove anything. That ahankara or individuality is Ishvara's creation. We are talking about the realities. What is the real nature of this ahankara? What is the real nature of Ishvara? Even the status of Ishvara is also incidental. Last time I told in Panchadashi class. The unmanifest Maya, unmanifest Namarupas, it gets a status that Pralaya Swarupa Ishvara. But that is incidental. So also, myself being waker or dreamer or sleeper, all the status is incidental and the ahankara is also incidental. You know, I hope you understand when you say this. During meditation, I am not able to, however, I don't see the self, but I see the duality only. You will continue to see duality. Even Shankaracharya continued to see duality. That's why he taught. Vedavyasa also continued to see duality. If one stops seeing duality, having gained the knowledge, then where is the Shishya to be taught? And then where is the world to be seen? And if there is no Shishya after knowledge, there is no teaching after knowledge, then where is this parampara? In that case, the teacher should make sure a little is left over and he passes on the knowledge and then removes that little ignorance. Exactly like when you buy a coconut in India, they peel it off. It's a hard shell and there is a special knife, big knife for it. It keeps peeling, put. And very thin layer, he knows it leaves that. That layer is little wet also. At go home and put a spoon even, there is a hole. So Guru should make sure I should peel my ignorance only up to this and teach the Shishya out, because once I gain the knowledge, I will not see the Shishya. That's not the case. We are not, when we say Advaitam, what we mean to say, I am not saying absence of duality. I am talking of absence of reality to duality. That upadhi level, at the physio-psycho complex, there will be duality. Eyes will see. They are designed to see the form and color separate from themselves. Ears will hear as separate. At a physical level, psychological level, cognitive level, all levels, the duality is Ishvara Srishti. We are not going to, or nor you are capable of destroying, which is Ishvara Srishti. The Jiva Srishti is reality to duality. Still further, I will explain. You know, I am not the body. But that doesn't mean you are going to give up the body. That doesn't mean you are going to destroy the body. You cannot. Body is a Ishvara Srishti. What we are telling is that aham deha eva. Deha eva aham. That sense is there. So that discovery that naham deha. That's all. And then you continue to abide in the body and know that I am not body. And I have to talk myself as a male or female or Mr. my name and so and so. These are all my incidental identities. As long as prarabdha is there, I have to continue. So, coming back to the statement, continue seeing duality, but when you give them reality to duality, now you may, at a little different level, what we talk of reality is nasato vidyate, etc. But even a simple meaning, giving reality to the objects of comfort. Objects can give comfort, but to take the comfort as happiness is giving reality to comfort. Money, you need money. Swamis need money. In fact, they need more than a grihastha to do so many things. Modern Swamis has projects and running around, especially like me, I need a lot of money. So you need money. But to know that money has only transactional value. It's a buying power. It's a purchasing power. It can purchase things and be objects, but not happiness. That's all. Give up the reality to money. It cannot buy you fullness. It cannot buy you security. That vakya, I'm gonna to tweet now. I feel like today this came. Before I tweet, I'll share with you. This famous vakya, dharmo rakshati rakshita. If you protect dharma, dharma will protect you. That is not true. Artho rakshati rakshita. Kamo rakshati rakshita. If you protect kama, kama will not protect you. On the contrary, more you have kama, more you will be destroyed. More money you have, more you feel insecure, more you feel fear. As Shankaracharya ji says in Bhajagovindam, Putradapi dana bhajam bhiti sarvatraita vihitareti. More powerful you are, the person in power is afraid of the near and dear one because they only become instrumental in destroying or dethroning him. So if I protect money and power, they are not going to give me security. Dharma will protect you, not these two. To see this is called absence of duality. First step. The first step of Vedanta. In one word, if I use this, in one clear sentence, anything and everything in the world is a means, not an end in itself. The ultimate end. Ultimate end is I want to be full. Ultimate end is I want to be happy all the time, all the places, and under all circumstances. Paramasukham. Param means limitless. Limitless means unconditioned by time, space, objectivity. That is the end. None of the possessions, none of the changes in the external world can give me the good. They are all means. That's it. Nothing wrong in keeping money. You have money. Nothing wrong in spending money. Spend money. It is exactly like nothing wrong in having car. But no car can give you permanent satisfaction, sense of contentment that they cannot give. When you buy a new Mercedes, sports Mercedes or some Lexus or something you buy, high-end sedan, you feel content. For how much? Just 1 or 2 days. Then you feel, I think I should have bought Lexus. Mercedes is not a good car. Or you think of something else. So none of them can give you total contentment or total happiness because that is you. That's it. That is called removing the duality. First step. That's a vairagya. So there is nothing wrong in having a car because you have to commute. You have to go to some other place. You have to talk to people or do business or whatever. So when I know the car as a means, nothing wrong in having. When I know the money as a means, nothing wrong in it. But to see money as an end, it can give me total fullness, it can give me total contentment, it can give me total security, total happiness. That is called seeing duality. First step, as I said. See duality, and what would happen that sometimes our likes and dislikes take over you. You get carried away by those likes and dislikes. That is what I guess you mean lower mind, or my mind is hijacked or manipulated. My mind gets easily manipulated or hijacked during meditation, and I'm not able to continue because it finds pleasure and so on. See, what for is meditation? You are meditating to abide in yourself, correct? And self-abiding process, if at all it's a process, let's say, or effort, should be most welcoming, should be most easy, because it is natural. Self-abidance should be natural because it is your swarupa. It is like saying, for fire to abide in heat, it should be natural because that is the swarupa of the fire. Light is the swarupa of the sun, and anything natural should be effortless. So abidance in oneself or owning of oneself, the whole process should be effortless, should be all joyous and should be simple. But doesn't happen because the mind has a tendency to wander away. And I mentioned it is going to. Even Arjuna, about whom we studied in Gita, Chittaikagram, what is single pointedness of the mind? We all learned the lessons of Arjuna. Arjuna was that famous story of seeing a bird, and then Guruji said, "What else do you see?" Then fellow says, "I don't see anything except the eye." And Guru said, "Sure." And he shot it and got the prize that you are the best student, etc., etc. This story is good, but the same Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita says, Chanchalam himana Krishna pramathi balavadradam tasyaham nigraham manne vayoriva sudushkaram. See, he was not an ordinary person. Archer, the best archer of that time. How much focused you must have had been to achieve this. And they had done some mantra siddhi. He knew certain mantras when he can employ that. Just think of it and employ the mantra. Not an ordinary guy. Still, he had this problem. That mind will wander is going to be there. One thing, what takes away your focus or concentration? Look at that. This is a tip. This question has given me an elbow room to tell you something. This may be problem of quite a few of you. Do one thing. I am giving you a technique before you start meditation. Every day form a habit. You are relaxed, night or whatever time. Where did the mind go? Rather than just complaining about the mind. Gujarati में कहना मन ने कोसवाने बदले. Just see where it went. If you think that way, just be objective. This is how mind goes. This is what mind thinks. You will discover the pattern of thinking. It's a pattern. Some people react this way. There is a pattern. Some people talk this way at this time. There is a pattern. So mind's wandering pattern is there. To catch a thief when he has committed few crimes, police tried to find out the pattern of doing. When they know that is how this fellow does, it becomes easy to catch it better. It is like that joke, This fellow, his pocket was pickpocket. Somebody took away the wallet from his pocket. Some pickpocketer took it away. And then he went to police station. And then he says, when this happened? He said, this time. Show me your pant. In which pocket you keep? Front, back, etc. He said, here. Then the police wala said, call that Kanti. He knows the Kanti will pick up this only. Even the other guy has this tendency. When you know the pattern, first identify the pattern. And when you identify the pattern, just be observant. This is how mind goes. This is how mind goes. You will find 80 to 90% of the disturbances are of the same pattern. It would be easy to solve the problem rather than complaining about the problem. My mind wonders what should I do? And people answer by giving some techniques. It doesn't last long because it's a habitual problem. It's a problem of pattern. So you have to address that, discover and answer. Like even it's important to identify the disease. When they take a blood test, when you have a fever, they want to identify what caused this. Similarly, if you can know what causes disturbance, you will find one or two patterns. Just be cautious. This is how it is. After some time, you will, before it starts the pattern, you know now it's going. And mind cannot go when you are conscious of it. When you go with it, you identify with it, and you're unconscious about the things that are doing, then it wanders all the way. You just part away and start seeing, oh, this is how it has started. Then it will just quieten down by itself. One. Secondly, something else that you said, there is something else that interests the mind more than the study or meditation. What something else? Only two things. This is a pattern I'm telling you. This is in 90% of the people, 90% pattern is only two things. You remember all the work to be done. Pending work comes there in the mind. All phone calls, all meetings, all social thing, all purchases to be done, all planning to be done. That karma, because we have had been workaholic all the time. So that thing comes out. That is a pattern. During Jagrata Avastha, even if you are not meditating, you think of the work only. That pattern comes out. Secondly, other than the work, the mind is disturbed by only raga and dvesha. What you like comes to mind. Oh, I want this, I want that, or I should have done that way. I like the beach and went somewhere, and then that I should stay next time for 2 more days. How it was nice, how I liked it, blah, blah, blah. Raga. Dvesha, dvesha vishaya, what you don't like comes to mind. And more often than not, you know what is a pattern? Very few times we think of raga vastu. More often there is a dvesha because in meditation you remember all your complaints and dukkhas. He or she did like this to me, and my nasib is like this, luck is like that, and I don't have this well, and I don't have that, and that means the waking dukhi becomes meditating dukhi. That's all. Waking dukhi is trying to become meditating dukhi person. That's a pattern. You are brooding all your dukkhas, remembering. Why my mother-in-law did like this? Why my childhood was like this? I didn't mean to say that, but that person took it that way. Why? That some babies are always crying baby. That crying baby is very unfortunate and unpleasant human habit. Just when you remember, you don't remember the pleasant things. You don't remember the happy things. You remember all unpleasant things. I had told these examples earlier also. I happened to witness that incident on a Hyderabad airport. I still remember the shop. I don't know whether it's still there or not. I had a last flight somewhere about 9:30 something. And then that got delayed and it was at 10:30. Generally, domestic air flights are over by 8:30, 10, and that too long distance, Bombay, and nobody reaches there at midnight. Though some planes do fly, it's not like Britain and America. Here, the evening flights are there. So whole airport was almost empty, except one flight passenger. And I have a habit, whenever I get time, I walk. So my exercise, sometimes I keep traveling from here, there. And early morning you take a flight, so you don't get time to walk, and meetings and things gets prolonged. And evening also you don't get time. And so I use airport to walk. So I was walking on altogether different side, where it was fairly quiet. And in front of me, about 50 meters ahead, a couple was walking. A typical Gujju couple. I knew Hyderabad, there's so many Gujaratis. Yes, it was Ahmedabad flight. So obviously, mostly Gujarati passengers. They were around 45, 50, lady and husband, same thing. And I saw them coming out of a jewelry shop. That fellow was closing and they came out. And from their body language, I understood that something is wrong. They are not happy couple, but some complaining couple. And obviously, they were loitering, and I was walking. And that too, my exercise walk. So my speed was more. And the airport was all quiet. So what they talked, I could hear from distance. The lady said to the husband, let me speak it out. તમે હાવ એવા ને એવા જ છો. તને મારા માટે કઈ પ્રેમ જ નથી. બધું મારા માટે જ નથી. You are same as you are. You don't love me. You don't have money for me. I asked for this and you said you don't have money. After today is our 25th anniversary, you are denying me. What a husband I have. I remember when we went for honeymoon, that time also we were denied. This fellow didn't even remember when did they go to honeymoon and where. So he said, when? Our honeymoon. But where were we? He said, Goa. Oh, then he remembered I had been to Goa. So he even doesn't know what I denied. Then she reminded him and said, Tame eva ne eva જ છો. You don't have money for me. You don't love me. Now I thought in my mind, I was overhearing. Then I slowed down. I said, good drama is going on. So Rahul Gandhi is not on TV. Let us listen to them. Some comedy. I'll get them joke. So then I said, I told to myself, that lady is telling that on honeymoon also you denied and you don't love me. And the same thing she says after 25 years, that you are denying and you don't love me. If it was there in between throughout, she would have divorced him. Because if he doesn't love me, what's the use of continuing? But I am sure he must have done some good thing. He might have given so many things. But what was not given is remembered. And what is given doesn't come to mind. So human mind has a tendency to brood over dukkha. That disturbs the meditation. And a complaining baby makes complaint all the time. Some people are always, as they call it, negative. They complain for everybody. This fellow did like that, he doesn't do like that, and then whatever that person is, what good thing is there, you see and relate. And otherwise, forget it. But I don't want to give up, but I want to keep complaining. And that complaining baby, કકળાટિયા છોકરા અમુક જન્મે ને આનંદી હોય ને અમુક કકળાટિયા હોય. All કકળાટિયા baby જ છે બધા. That baby, when sits in meditation, one more complaint is added. Ishvara, he is not supporting. My luck is bad. A judgmental comes. My nasib is not good. And Bhagavan, he is not taking care of me. That's a mind. Now here is a technique I am giving you. Do this. Before you do japa or before you do meditation, just spend 5-10 minutes to look back. Think of your past. Start from the age of 5, whatever you were conscious, and remember your childhood onwards. Start from there. And see, who was I at the age of 5? That playful, irresponsible, whatever you find yourself to be. And think, what were your aspirations? What you thought yourself to be? Nothing. Blank. Today I enjoyed, forget it. That's all you thought of. 10. Just I'm giving a slot, 15 years. By 15 or 20s, maximum you had a dreamt was that I will be so and so rich person. I will have a family or a car or a bungalow or whatever it is, something you reach. Correct? Had those dreams, family dreams, business dreams, pleasure dreams, all dreams that I'll be like this, like that, so and so. So much of value for dressing up and makeup and look good and relate and acceptance. So much value of social acceptance, social recognition, etc. But never ever in your wildest dream you thought, or even some of you may not, at least I candidly accept that I never knew what is moksha. Being brought and brought up in India, knew there is moksha, but never knew that a desire for moksha would come, and that you get connected to the right teacher. All seekers, beginning from Rajneesh and ISKCON onward, they are sincere, but doesn't know what's the right means of moksha. They get into some group, not even knowing the end. You got the best means, best teacher, and like icing the cake, you have a shraddha on the Shastra and teachers. That's what you mentioned. The grace is flowing. The unseen hands from behind are guiding you. Krishna is a cowherd. In India, when a cowherd goes for grazing, he will be behind the cows. The cows were going, cows and buffaloes, and they go. And when one of them strays away, he has a special noise, to something it does. The animal comes back. Krishna as a cowherd kept us on the track. And again, Shraddha is a grace that I have Shraddha. So the grace is always flowing. And that Puja Swamiji always used to say, if you miss the moksha as a purushartha, what do you miss? You miss moksha means you miss infinity, because moksha is infinity. When you miss infinity, the loss is infinite. And when you pursue infinity, the benefit is also infinite. He brought us to the path of Purnatvam. Why should I complain for some petty thing? That complaining baby will have an answer. It will be resolved. He'll appreciate what a grace that I enjoy. And in what abundance I enjoy. So that will help you to at that moment focus more on the Lord. That your surrender will be more. You will have more Shraddha on it. You'll feel more love for the Lord. And that love and Shraddha will gel the mind. Will keep the mind more focused on Ishvara. It will not give any more disturbances. And whenever that complaining baby comes out, you will remember the grace that I enjoy. So try this technique. See yourself as a teenager. See yourself as in early 20s. See yourself as being married. What kind of dreams and the mindset you had and where you are brought to the end. In between, there were some detour. The road was not carpeted. It's okay. And you had a bumps. That's fine. The compared to what I got and what I paid for is nothing. It's just a damn cheap thing. I mean, cheap is also a short word. So it's nothing. It's almost free. Then why complain for little free that you had to pay? So that complaining baby will get resolved. So before you start meditation, try this. Okay? So japa would be easy. Nididhyasana also will be easy because mind will be content. Mind will be satisfied. And that satisfied mind can discover total satisfaction. Progress depends upon the purity of the heart, and also sadhana determines the speed of success. But in order to succeed, what can I do to change this habitual pattern? How do I make a conscious effort to change these habits? First is dhairyam. Shanai shanai uparamet buddhya dhriti gruhita. You have to have lots of patience with yourself. You may change cognitively. All the sentences reflects that you have changed cognitively. There was cognitive ignorance before, what to do, what to do. Cognitive change has taken place, but you cannot deny emotional reality as well. You have to address that. And it's a very slow process. Mahatmas say, if you get a bud of a flower, suppose rose, then you cannot push finger and open the petals. You can do that, but the fragrance will not come. It has its own process time. Similarly, you have to process your emotional problems. Grow out of it. Then sadhana would be natural. It is a habitual pattern. If you know it's a habitual pattern, then try to live a conscious life. More conscious means more awareful about your mind you are, more things you will be able to give it up. So, conscious alertness to my mind will help you to grow out of the habit and have again patience. Bhagavan says this twice in the 6th chapter while talking about meditation. You have to have dhairyam. Shanaihi pantha. Slowly. It is going to be a slow process, like opening of a flower. And the beauty and the fragrance and everything will be proper when it takes some time. So, conscious effort is just do continue what you are doing and be unconscious about I am bad. My sadhana is not going on well. My mind has lots of vasanas. It's okay. Nobody is bad. As I said, there is a greatest papam to look down upon yourself. Okay? It's okay. I'm like this, fine. We'll work it out. With these words, I think I will close today's class. And tomorrow also there are quite a few. Maybe we may spill over to next month also. Hope so. Hope not so. Let me see. We'll have it at 8 o'clock as usual timing. Okay. Yesterday was Arjuna and Duryodhana went to Krishna to request him to be on their side. Like they had contacted other kings also. That's how they had so much of big army. Whole Bharat Varsha was there. But Arjuna and Duryodhana went on the same time almost. And the story goes, Lord was resting and both of them were seated. And Lord happened to see Arjuna first and asked him. He said, I have come to seek your help to be on my side. Same thing was told by Duryodhana. I came for that. So Lord gave them two choices, two things to be selected. One, I alone on one side. The two will not fight. He says, I will not wield a weapon. Forget about fighting. I will not wield a single weapon. On the other side, one complete battalion called as one Akshohini Sena. So many 22,610 elephants and elephant riders and like 45,220 chariots, a huge battalion. One. And one side I, without wielding weapon. And the choice was given to Arjuna, and Arjuna selected Krishna to be his side. As Swamiji would say, when Arjuna was given a choice, it is the first time Duryodhana might have prayed. Let him not ask for army. I want that. And both were happy. Krishna. Arjuna was happy because he wanted Krishna on his side. And Duryodhana was happy because he wanted army on the side. So, Krishna was there. But what he did, he requested him to be a charioteer. That means he surrendered himself and his chariot to Krishna, the Lord. So when I surrender myself, I can win this Mahabharata of evil and good, also called lower and upper, or Mahabharata of Vasanas. And surrender is possible only when there is love. Please understand. When there is love, surrender is natural. A lady would surrender to husband. She loves him. Or she would surrender to her 2-year-old, 3-year-old baby. Just love. Whatever baby wants, she does it. Even if she doesn't like, even if it is to put her to inconvenience, she will do that. I love you, full stop. To discover the love, see the role he has played in your life. That's why I gave you the exercise, what you had at 5, 10, 15, 20. When you see, oh, he did so much for me, he is a real Surud. Surudam sarva bhutanam gnatva mam shanti vrachati. I have to see that unseen hands. I have to see the grace flowing all along. Then love and surrender becomes easy. Okay? Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Hari Om.